Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are starting our December daily. So happy December to everybody. I am going to be working on top of my mess. This is my thing, you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably heard my reason for being MIA and just being a little burnt out. But we're here for the merriment. I have all sorts of things on my desk that I want to use. And so instead of trying to start off with a perfect desk and a perfect, we are just gonna start creating together, okay? So I did print out, so right now we're catching up. So we're gonna do days 1 and 2 in this video, and then I will slice it and then do 3 and 4 to catch up, because when I'm currently filming this, it is the 3rd. Is it the 3rd today? I don't even know what day it is, but you understand already the vibe. So I have printed out my day 1 story, which is simply a family photograph that we took on Thanksgiving. I want to use the felt number 1 and some of these gorgeous little light bulbs. There are, I believe, 10 in the set, so I'm using 5 right now, and I'll say 5 for another layout. So I do want to do something. This one is sequins ribbon that I probably picked up at the Dollar Tree. I also, try to use this one. This one, Celebrate. This one is from Michael's, I believe. This one is just too dimensional. I feel like it's too dimensional. This one lays a little bit flatter. So I wanted to do like a curly cue of lights in the back and simply have that. What I also thought about though, so just keep in mind when you have big photos, I had picked up Astro Paste. This is the Bee Sting, which is the red, and Slippery When Wet is the gold. On my opening page, if you followed the previous video, I made my title page do this, and that gold sparkly texture is with this. And this, I already know, also works on photo paper. So just keep that in mind, because I did audition out doing some texture paste on the photo and itself too, the same polka dot. And I was like, well, since I already did that here, this will be like, the title. I don't want to do that. Let's do something different. Okay. So, and speaking of titles, since we're already starting off on day 1, off camera, I saw this inspiration. I want to say it was Nelly. It could have been Nolana. I forgot who initially did this inspiration with taking the gingerbread people and using them on the canvas pockets. Unfortunately, these canvas pockets were from a 2-year ago release, and I happen to still have them. I know, I bought them and then never used them, but I had them. And when she layered them like this as well, I was like, stop it. That way, I got to use all the ginger people with the high impact, thing together, because there's only 4. And then I got to use those canvas pockets, which I knew I had and hadn't used. So I completely scrap lifted her. So off camera, I auditioned out I started off with Miguel. Sorry. I tried to heat emboss it. So I did with the clear embossing stamp, clear embossing ink, and then did it was green tinsel embossing powder. It did not work. So know that now. Cork and heat embossing, stamp embossing do not work. So all I went in was just stamping with an alpha stamp. This was from Heidi Swap, this set. And it was this one. And of course, there's no name. It was a Heidi Swap Alpha, so that's what fit in here perfectly. And I just use Catherine Pooler dye ink, and this was like a navy color in my stash. So navy showed up well. I didn't want to do red. It might have gotten washed out and turned brown. I don't have a dark green, and I don't have black. So that's why I went with navy, because at least I knew that one is a juicy ink pad. So that's how I stamped that before. And then I also did with the same stamp our age in the bottom. So 42, 43, Vale 7. So that's going to be the page, right? And then also, so side note, before I started getting myself interrupted, I have so many thoughts. And we're just going to put it on pattern paper. This one is from my stash, probably a couple years ago. Just haven't used it. I just simply need something for the holes, and the rest of it will just be chopped. I thought about doing it on acetate, but I said no, because I don't need the back to be visible. We'll just start with story 1, or story 2 right on the back of that. And then to also back up a little bit. So this was what I initially had done. I had glued this on this transparency. I do like it. So I'm going to put my reason why back here. So I will have the sticker paper right here. But since that already gave the pattern, I didn't want to see that. I already thought I'm going to cut this tree out again with pattern paper. And then we're going to layer it. So we're going to work a little bit more on my title page. So I did this last year as well, where I did a collage. I pretty much went through my phone, did a collage, and did like 1 photo per month. which was the highlight for the month. And that's how I got this accomplished, and just made it black and white because all the colors were too competing. And instead of using this as the transparency, I liked the gold wording better. So I took it off. It didn't rip too bad. This is me already like changing it from my last video. And it'll be like this. And then I will have pattern paper to cut like the same size. We'll put the reason why there. And so this is really the title moment. And then this will be on the back of this. So that's where we are at. So that's more like a bonus feature for it. So let's construct how I'm going to do this and glue it down and see how I'm going to glue it down. Because I don't really want to stitch, and make this. And then we'll flip it over and do story 12. So for this one as well, I'm going to take my journaling prompt from last year. Allie Edwards did a page. It wasn't her day one, but it was like later on, where she wrote to each of her family members, like, I see you, and was like almost like a letter to them. And so that's how I think I'm going to take, approach the journaling is, to Miguel, like, I see you, blah, 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 working hard, providing for us, being a present dad, and then probably, a gentle note to myself that I'm doing good. And then everything, for obviously my daughter, and then our 2 dogs, like, I see you. And, probably mention, like, how I love them so much and stuff. So that was my mindset with the journaling. So let me stop talking. Let's do this, start the voiceover so I can glue this down, because I got to see what glue is going to work best. Because I think I'm going to use the fabric tack, but I also have this new guy to use. And I also have, do I have to open this? This was new. This is new glue to me. Yeah, this is, I already opened this. So this is new glue. This, I know how it will work, and we will see what will stay on the sticker paper, because that is always the battle. And do the journaling, and then we'll do day 2. Okay, so let's get moving. Okay, so let's get started with the little curly cute string of ribbon or string of lights that I want to do. I did mention that this sequined like thread ribbon string was from the Dollar Tree. So you have to get lucky when you find things like this. And I'm using that Fabri-Tac glue. I find this glue to be truly my go-to one, even though I have 2 new ones to try out because of recommendations from my like rant on social media about our love-hate relationship with liquid glue. But the reason I go back to this one constantly is I'm constantly impressed, especially whenever you're doing, especially something on slick surfaces. So this glue works great when you want to stick things onto like a page protector that you want it to stick. With other glues that I've tried, it can easily pop off plastic, and it doesn't with this glue. Also, since I'm working on a slick paper surface right now too, it's very smooth and slick, I just go to it, and since this was also like a fabric underneath it with the sequins, I felt like it was going to be a good adhesion there with this one, so that was why I do it. I also like it, if you recall, it's alcohol-based ink, so it doesn't warp your paper because it's not based with water. So that's another reason why I also love this one. So that's why I have it in my fine line bottle, and I also have it as the big one. Because sometimes in the fine line bottle, I feel like the viscosity of it is too thick for it to go down that tube of the fine liner. So it kind of doesn't work fantastic with that one, but I still use it. So this worked out actually effortlessly. This ribbon also comes in a silver, I believe. I don't think I have it in red. I have it in silver and gold. So it's something to keep in mind if you come across it. So definitely pick it up, and it's easily cut, not a problem. And I should have probably cut out my photo before I did this part because I had to make sure I didn't cut through the sequence when I was trimming it down. Silly me. Remember to be outside the page protector. The photo is printed at 7 by 8 1/4. That is the go-to for it. And I have the felt like hunter green #1. This is me thumbing through my little box of goodies, and I can't find my little gold sequin. No, they're glittery stars that came in the main kit. I just can't find it, but I know I'll come across it whenever I am done. So this pattern paper is in my stash. It might have been last year's or maybe even 2 years ago. It's just an Allie Edwards former print. And all I really needed for is because it was a brownie taupey color, beigey color to kind of match the canvas. And once again, using that beacon glue because it's fabric. It works for good surfaces. I don't know. It's my go-to right now. So then I thought I was going to just cut it and have the next page begin. But
I've been seeing a lot of like paper folds. I've done paper folds as well. And so I'm just marking down where I need to score it so that I can have this little flap part happen for the next story. Now for the next story, at this point when I'm working, I didn't know what I wanted to really talk about. But as I folded it, worked on it, scored it, I came back to it, and this is going to be it's going to be a page that I'm going to come back to. It's going to be the story of our advent calendar. Valentina has not had one. This is her first year with one, and I had the good idea of having like an ornament advent calendar. So I have 24 ornaments that I have shopped for. I even had my mother-in-law and my mother look for little ones that would represent her so that she can open an ornament a day. And her elf on the shelf bought her a new like 4-foot Christmas tree for her bedroom that's like a flocked white one, already pre-lit and everything. And so she got it on day one when her elf arrived, and then the advent is in a basket next to it. And so as she goes through, so I'm telling the story with it being like from day one where how it arrived, and I have 2 pictures of her so far putting ornaments on the tree. So I want to come back to this page because when all the ornaments are finally on it, I want like that final result picture. I think that would be really cute. So that is how we're going to work it. I don't, like, at this point I was just like, oh, so how should I have it? Like 2 3x4 photos, like, and I'm just kind of getting the spacing. I was like, okay, 2 3x4s with the flap would be good. And I'm like, on the top one it shows day 1, and the bottom one will show day 2, and then I can open up the flap and hold a bunch of 2x2s. And then I had white space, and I was like, I don't want it on just white paper, so let me start finding my cardstock that'll fit it. And so I auditioned out, you see me, look, Allie Edwards ones, and in the end I still just like this black and white plaid, and actually in the back had this poinsettia one. This is a Carta Bella one, I think it's called Christmas Flora, if I recall correctly. This one, these are papers that I bought last year that I never got to use, and I am trying to use them now. So the black and white print with the flower I thought was great, high contrast. And so I was like, you know what, that kind of looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. So let's go with it. So I'm covering up the basic pattern paper that it was. So it gets it's not folding perfectly down. So I do have it, just so you know, like paper clip, just so that it gets like flatter as it goes in my book, because it does have the tendency to kind of stay open a little bit. Not a problem, neither here nor there, but just a longer story, since it's the first advent calendar for her, and how this was like a month in progress, because all of November I was searching for little ornaments that would work for her. You know, I picked up like a unicorn, and I have a little Mr. Grinch, and I have like iridescent snowflakes, and then I had like pink, like little diamond ones that I found for her. And so it was just things that probably represented her, like a little gingerbread person. It's fun.
Okay, so I took this die set that I usually use a lot, the alphanumeric from Tim Holtz, and I cut out the word Advent. I haven't stuck it down yet, so I'm still placing it. And I'm just playing with a piece of ribbon. I also auditioned it as like ADVENT, and I liked it. But then I was like, it's so simple, because putting anything vertically, and I thought of this, you know, you would want to read it. And I liked this too. This is one of the sentiments from Allie Edwards. But the red is like a lot darker. And while it works, you know, I can put it there. You know, it works. That's not a problem. I just thought that I just had a piece of this one left over. This is more of like a cherry red that matches the paper. And I was like, you know what, that looks kind of better. So I can probably save that. So let me glue these letters on. Oh, and the paper I use too, in case someone asks, it's Hobby Lobby. It's like this really gold, almost like rice paper. It is very thin, like, yeah, like rice paper, or even like almost like a foil, because it kind of can get crinkly. It was Hobby Lobby, and I probably got it when it was half off. So it just says gold crinkle foil. So let me continue on with this. And I think I was mentioning it in the voiceover that it's going to be like a page to come back to. So I was just making sure that my size is good. So we'll start off with the size of my tree in the Advent. And then the picture that'll go here will be when it's all complete. And so I just got to print out a few 2x2s of her decorating it. And then this will be complete. So we have finished off our title page, day 1 and day 2. So this is what it looks like. And the only thing I'm mad at is that little bit of an edge on the title page, but it's okay. So we have the gold, and then we have the journaling. And granted, you know what happened here? This is one of those times where I used shiny glossy paper, and Matt sticker paper, which is fine in the long haul, but I should have used a glossy sticker paper, and that way it wouldn't have been so obvious. We have my collage, and then when you flip it over, we'll have story 1 with my little gingerbread people. All of the journaling is on there now with clear sticker paper. And the only thing I'm missing for this page would be one of my goldy glittery stars. I just can't find that little pack that came in my main kit. So as soon as I find it, I will add it on there. And then on this side, we have Advent, which you saw me cut out. And this is a page that I'm going to have to come back to in the end, because I'm sure I said it in the voiceover that it is, ooh, the tape didn't stick, that it is a work in progress. So this is like day 1, me making the ornaments, how it got delivered, and then her decorating it on day 2, I believe. So then I want to have a picture of the completed tree with all 24 ornaments, and maybe 2 more pictures of her adding them to the tree. But we have the journaling right here. I backed it there, and those are the first 2 stories for my December daily. Love how they turned out, and we shall continue on for the month. Thank you for joining me. Please give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, everyone, bye.